Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report. Josue Pavon to my left, Sherrod Blakely back to my right, and we got injury updates out of shoot-around. Heat and Celtics just got out of their shoot-arounds here this morning, and Heat going to be missing Kyle Lowry again. Marcus Smart probable, Al Horford doubtful, Derrick White back to Boston. Baby call.
Yes.
Unexpected announcement this morning. He had to hop on a flight and head back, and he'll miss Game 2 between the Celtics and Heat.
Yeah, with Derrick White, we'll start with him. I mean, Derrick, this was not unexpected, other than the timing. Derrick, him and I had a conversation about this a few weeks ago, and his wife was due May 22nd. So this is a few days early. We're kind of hoping that we could just get back to Boston once we got the schedule. But listen, everything happens on the right time, and certainly happy for Derrick and his wife. And happy for the Celtics that Marcus Smart.
Yes, they're going to need him now.
Marcus Smart, the timing could not be better when you think about no Derrick White and now getting Marcus Smart potentially back. And I do expect him to be back, just like I talked about on the Garden Report after Game 1. I expected him to be back for Game 2. Marcus is just built differently than the rest of us human beings. And so I was not the least bit shocked when Ime talked about him being probable, and basically the only thing that will keep him from not playing is if something happens during the testing before the game that they don't anticipate happening. So I fully expect to see Marcus Smart back, and Al's situation is tenuous. But the Celtics, I think their approach is the right one, to assume that you don't have him, and if you get him, then it's a bonus.
Yeah, and Ime, as he said, going to go through a test pregame, and you hope he can be the full Marcus, 30-plus minutes there, because you want to cut into those Peyton Pritchard minutes as much as possible. I'm normally the Peyton guy.
Yeah, Bobby, what happened?
It started strong, and he looked like 2021 Peyton in that first half. Then it tapers off, and I'm sure the Heat looked at even more opportunities to go at him.
They were hunting the hell out of Peyton. I mean, Jimmy Butler was just like, where's he at? Yeah.
I mean, look, Bobby, there's a difference between 30-minute Peyton and, 20-minute, 15 to 20. But listen, if he's hot, if he gets going offensively, I'm okay with him hitting 20.
Oh, Josue's the Peyton guy.
Wow.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, let him play the distance. Let him go for 30, even if he's hot, because the Heat will adjust. They obviously did in the fourth quarter. They will sniff him out and get that mismatch that they want. So that's bound to happen. But if he's hot and he's going, I'm okay with that in the second half. But again, 30 minutes, no, less than 30 minutes, anywhere between 25, 30, would probably be too much, but if he's hot, I'm okay with it. Having Marcus Smart back changes things. And we talked about it too yesterday, right, Bobby? Like, this is the Eastern Conference Finals. I would have been really surprised if he didn't play at all. A limited Marcus or a full 100% Marcus, either one would make a big difference in this one.
So you're looking for Pro and Peyton. That's what you want to see. I mean, you want to see Pro and Peyton. That dropped 92 in the summer.
If we see hints of that, let it ride. Let it ride. Why not? But again, in the fourth quarter, late down the stretch, you got to be careful with that, because Jimmy Butler will sniff him out. We'll get that mismatch, and then it's time to eat, right? Like he goes off, exactly, lights out.
I'm looking for 30 minutes. You think that's attainable coming off an injury like this, or you think there'll be some sort of limit or restriction on him in the game?
I think at least 30. I think if Derrick White were in the mix, I think you could certainly look at something in the high 20s, low 30s. But I expect low 30s, mid 30s for Marcus in terms of playing time. That is huge. But like I said, Marcus is built differently than the rest of us human beings, so I'm not as worried about him as I would other guys.
Game changer in the series. We're looking at an injury like that, and like you said, the severity other guys have had with it, you thought maybe he could miss the entire series here, which they missed him a lot in Game 1 there. That could be devastating. Al Horford, I didn't think they missed as much. Robert Williams stepped in well for him. They still got to wait testing. Ime said today that he was never symptomatic from the start, so you wonder how he even ended up in the protocol. We're just speculating there, but he does say the testing's what he got to go through. There's a days out of protocol that he could reach as well there, but in the immediate series of negative tests would get him out of the protocol for now. I guess you're just kind of waiting there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think best case scenario for the Celtics is you get him back for one of those two home games, games 3 or 4. I don't anticipate he'll be available for Game 2. My understanding is that he has been asymptomatic throughout this entire process. And that's a good sign, because that means that whatever issues that he's dealing with, they're simply testing-related issues, as opposed to he's not really feeling well, and we need him to start feeling better type issues. It doesn't appear to be that's one of the worries at this point. So again, because as Bobby mentioned, with Rob playing more Rob-like, you can be okay. And if Grant can get back to being like maybe not Game 7 Grant, but still
he's got to give them more.
He's got to give them more than he gave them in Game 1, and he knows that.
Yeah, in Game 1, I liked Rob's performance. 28 minutes, too, sustainable. Faded a little in the second half, and He obviously had some trouble finishing and catching the ball in the lane there on the pick and rolls, but started 5 of 5. In the end, a great stat line coming off a bone bruise. But he's got to be able to sustain for a whole game to be able to fulfill what Horford was doing out there in round 1, round 2.
Yeah, definitely. And just keeping the offense flowing, I think Grant does a really good job of doing that. And if he gets hot in terms of not just knocking down 3-point shots, but those open looks that he'll get, if he starts knocking those down, that's going to open things up in a big way for the Celtics.
We talked to Gabe Vincent pregame. He got the pair of blocks on Robin's side there and was taking the ball too low.
Keep that ball up.
Look, Rasheed Wallace many moons ago used to tell me that, look, I have to keep the ball up high when I get rebounds or when I get the ball on offense, because if I don't, even you, Sherrod, could defend me if I'm keeping it low. And he's right. I could absolutely defend him, just like Gabe could actually defend Rob. Rob has to be, he just has to be more conscious of that, and I think he will.
A few tweaks, a few more minutes from him, and I think the Celtics are in good shape here. Looking like a long series, but the Celtics a little bit healthier tonight. More their starting lineup intact. I think they'll be much closer to competing with the Heat here, but obviously the Heat showed in Game 1 that they are the rightful favorites in this series. Celtics going to have to match that the rest of the way. We're brought to you by com.com. Get a premium subscription for 40% off at com.com/garden. Help out the Garden Report and get yourself some sleep sounds, meditation, yoga, variety of things to just make you feel good. And you're going to need that after some of these hectic East Finals games. And you're going to also need HelloFresh on these game nights.
Yes.
Late starts, you're going to be hungry going into it. They got instructions, they got prepackaged ingredients, they got a variety of meals that you can try, and you're going to get 16. That's the length of this series and then some. HelloFresh.com/playoff, 16 free meals, 3 free gifts, and the variety there is just insane.
It is incredible. I mean, even Josue can find something that he... my personal favorite, well, as far as items, the meatloaf is off the chain. That's my favorite one. But as far as the different options that you have, I mean, there's a meat and vegetable option. My favorite, though, is the quick and easy, which is basically the shortest amount of prep time and cook time. And there are lots of different options with that. When I saw that, I thought of Josue because I just thought of Josue.
Yo, listen.
Short and easy.
But with that being said, that's why I also recommend HelloFresh. And fellas, I talked about it after Game 1. Come on. Date night, girls love this. This is romantic, fellas, all right? Start cooking with them. You can get it done during Celtics pregame. By the time the game starts, you'll be enjoying a delicious meal.
Is that experience?
Yes.
Josue, ladies man, HelloFresh man, HelloFresh.com/playoff16. We'll be back here 8:30 tonight, Game 2, Celtics Heat. ESPN start close at 8:45, and we'll be live after on the Garden Report, Celtics postgame show. Check us out, Celtics All Access, CLNS Media on YouTube and CLNSmedia.com. Sherrod Blakely, Josue Pavon, Bobby Manning, live in Miami for one more night.